Good afternoon, everyone. This is Vaishali. I'm a product expert of Zoho Books. I'll be the host for today's webinar session. Thank you so much for joining us today. I hope to just start with the session with a few housekeeping activities. So thank you so much for joining us, first of all. So you'll be able to interact with the trainers using the chat option. If you're facing any issues during the webinar, you can post your issues in the chat box. Our trainers will be able to help you out. Apart from this, this is a live and interactive sessions. We encourage you to ask your questions. So if you have any questions during the course of the session, please feel free to post those questions in the questions tab. In between the sessions, we also have some polls arranged for you. So please feel free to answer those polls, so we'll be able to help you out better in the future as well. Thank you so much for joining us today. I hope today's session is as helpful as to you, and you'll be able to use this knowledge in the future. Thank you so much. So we'll continue with the session today. I hope my screen is visible, and we can start with the session now. So thank you once again for joining us. So today's session. So let me walk you through the agenda for today's session. So in today's session, we'll be looking at the customizations which are available in our reports module. So in reports module, so in Zoho Books, in the reports module, we have over 75 plus reports, and all these reports are available across all the plans, and we will be walking you through each of these plans in the upcoming series of webinars. So earlier today, Priya would have introduced you, my co-trainer would have introduced you to the other sessions which are available for in the same series. We encourage you to register for these sessions individually. So continuing on, we will be seeing each of these categories in the upcoming sessions. So let me briefly describe the sessions or the categories which are available in Zoho Books. So in Zoho Books, as I said, we have over 75 plus reports, and all of these reports are divided into different categories. So we'll be starting with different categories first. The first category that you will look into is the business overview reports. So the business overview reports include your profit and loss, balance sheet, cash flow reports, which will help you make a educated business decision, and you'll be able to see how your business is performing, the health of your business at any point of time. After which, we also have sales type reports where you'll be able to see the sales defined by the customers, items, and salesperson. And we also have receivable reports wherein you'll be able to see the customer balance summary, aging summary, and so on. And also the payments that you'll be receiving over a period of time. And we also have a report for recurring invoices, a separate category. So all these together, that is sales, your receivables, payments received, and recurring invoices consolidated together will show you how your receivables are doing for a particular period. Apart from this, we also have inventory type reports where you'll be able to see what is the stock that is coming in, what is the stock that is going out. You'll be able to see your inventory summary at any point of time. All these are real-time reports, hence your inventory tracking are tracked on real time. You'll be able to see what is the stock on hand on a real-time basis as well. Similar to how we have different receivable reports such as sales, payments received, recurring invoice, and receivables, we also have payable reports, which include the reports under the payable category and purchase and expenses category, where you'll be able to see the vendors payables, that is the amount that you have to pay to your vendors, and the expenses that you have incurred over a period of time, and also the tax reports, which include your GST reports as well as TDS reports and so on. We also have different reports for your accountant, wherein you'll be able to track your day-to-day ledgers and the trial balance for a particular period. You'll also be able to see project-wise profitability and project details under the project and timesheet report. And for your banking, we do also have a reconciliation status report, which will let you know what are the transactions which have been categorized, uncategorized, and reconciled. Apart from these, we also have different reports under budgets, which is called a budget versus actual reports, which will help you compare the budgets and the actuals that has happened over a period of time. And if you're dealing with multi-currency invoices, you'll also have an option to see the realized gain or loss and unrealized gain or loss under the currency section. And in any business, in any accounting solution, you'll have to track the activities that are happening within the organization, and for which we have multitude of reports under the activity section. This is a brief introduction on different categories which are available. As I mentioned earlier, we do have an in-depth section on each of these categories in the upcoming weeks. We urge you to register for each of this section individually. I have given a brief introduction on what are the different categories which are available in Zoho Books. Now, as the agenda comes, we have to see what are the customizations which are available in Zoho Books. So that's where we are going to start. So we'll start the customizations that are available across all these reports. So we'll take example of profit and loss initially. So in profit and loss, as I said, you'll be able to see what is a profit and loss for organization and so on. But we do have an option of customizing these reports according to your requirement. So that's where we are going to concentrate more today. So under customized report option, you'll be able to see the customized report option under multiple report, all the reports, and there'll be different options under each of these customizations. So the first and foremost thing is the date range. As I mentioned, Zoho Books has real-time reports, and you'll be able to customize the report and select a time range for which the report has to be run. You'll be able to choose the date range over here. These are some of the default date range shown. Apart from this, you can also customize the date range as per your requirement. And in all of the reports, you'll be able to choose the report basis, whether you want it to be accrual or cash basis. Accrual is when you want the report to be run based on the invoice date, and cash is when you want the report to be run based on the payment date. Like say for example, you have created an invoice and you want the reports based on the invoices that are created, irrespective of whether it is being paid or unpaid. And if you choose it to be cash, the report is run based on the invoices which are paid or the transactions which are marked as paid. Apart from this, we also have an option of filtering the accounts. So there are three types of filters. One is accounts without zero balance. That is, you will be able to filter every account except the ones which have zero balances. So any of the accounts with zero balances will not be displayed over here. And all accounts, irrespective of what the balance is, currently, all the accounts which are affecting which have transaction for the selected timeline will be shown in the all accounts section. Accounts with transaction. You'll be able to filter only the accounts with transaction, and the rest of the accounts which have no transaction for a specified period of time will be ignored for when you are choosing this filter. The next up, we also have compare. So in any reports, you would need to have a comparison on different timelines, right? So for example, you want to compare it between what is a profit and loss for a previous period or the previous year to the current year, so on. So you'll be able to compare your reports based on certain criterias. So in profit and loss, we have four criterias for comparison. One is compare based on period or year, or one is comparing based on reporting tags, comparing based on branches, and comparison based on projects. Let me go in detail on these. The first step is to compare based on period or year. You'll be able to see how the profit or how the business was performing in the previous years or a previous number of years. You can select the time range and the number of years you want to compare with. Once done, when you run the report, you'll be able to see the comparison and how your profit and loss is performing over a period of time. Similarly, you'll also be able to compare it based on reporting tags. So before we proceed on how to compare the reporting tags, let me give you an introduction on what reporting tags are. In Zoho Books, you'll be able to segregate data based on a specific tag created to identify or segregate the data under different tag names. So you'll be able to create a tag in the settings reporting tag section. So these are some of the tags that I've already created. Say I want to differentiate the data based on different departments. So I can create a tag name called department. I can also add the options. Say for example, there are different departments in my organization. So I want to have a tag for specific. These are some of the tags that I've created. Once the tags are created, you'll be able to associate these tags while you're creating an invoice, bills, or even recurring invoices, or even during purchase transactions such as expenses, bills, payments, and even while you're creating contacts or items. Once these reporting tags are associated, you'll be able to compare these reports using the reporting tags as well. So you can select compare based on reporting tags. Select the tag that you wish to compare it with and run the report. As you can see, you will be able to see the profit and loss based on the reporting tag as well. Similarly, if you have multiple branches in your organization, you can also compare your profit and loss based on different branches. You can choose the branch office over here and run the report and see the profit and loss for a particular period of time for the branches as well. This will help you understand how your business is performing at different locations or different branch offices. Similarly, over here in Zoho Books, you'll also have an option of comparing based on projects. If you have simultaneously multiple projects happening in your organization, you can select these projects and you'll be able to compare the profit and loss based on the project as well. So these are some of the customizations which are available in our business overview reports. So we'll also see a few other customizations across different reports. Let's take an example of, say for example, the payment received account transaction report. So over here, account transaction report is where you'll be able to see all the transactions that has happened over a period of time. So as you can see, there is a large volume of data here. There are so many bills, expenses, there are different accounts. So this is a large dump of data. So for you to understand these reports better, we also have different options or different filters. Over here, similar to how you select a date range and report basis, we also have an option called group by. That is, you can group the large volume of data under certain criteria. Say for example, if you want to group it based on transaction type or the transaction or even a branch, you can do so over here. Currently, I'm choosing the transaction type as a group by option. As you can see, the data which was earlier there, it has been categorized or segregated based on different transaction types. So this will be easy for you to navigate through or interpret easily. We also have another option called advanced filters. Let me also show you how these advanced filters can be better used. Say let's take a real-time scenario. So in an organization, you'll be receiving payments from multiple sources, right? You'll receive payment via cash accounts, bank accounts, you'll receive payment via bank transfer and so on. So this is a report that shows what are the payments received over a period of time. As you can see again over here, there is a vast amount of data which it's not customized yet. Say for example, if you want a report wherein you want to see only the payments that you've received via bank transfer. In such cases, what you can do is you can customize this report and filter only the payments that are received via bank transfer. Let me show you how this can be done in Zoho Books. Let's customize your report. We've already selected the date range. And if you want to, you can also select group by. As I said, we have to filter only the payment mode where only the payments where the payment mode is bank transfer. So we'll select the field, say payment mode, and you can mention SN and bank transfer. So this is the filter that I'm using, that the payments which I need should be only the bank transfer. So once done, I'll run the report. As you can see, only the payments in which the payment mode is bank transfer is shown in the report. However, I need to add few more fields. So currently it shows the payment number, the date, the customer name, payment mode and invoice. But I wish to add few more fields. And for that, what I can do is you can use the show or hide columns. In Zoho Books, in the customize, apart from the general customization, we have this option called show or hide columns where you can customize the columns which are shown in your report. So these are the selected columns which are available in the particular report. You can remove the columns which are not required and you can also add additional columns as per your requirement. Say for example, if you want to start from the scratch. So I'll start with the payment number, then I want the date and the customer name and the payment mode and the invoice number against which I've received the payment and what is the deposit to account and the applied date, when was the payment applied to, what is the applied amount and say what is the amount that I've received in total and bank charges if I've used any, and what is the tax amount in this particular, and say I want the GST treatment as well as the GST and number of the customer. So whatever details that you prefer and the branch in which I've received the payment. So whatever details that you wish to have in this particular report can be added over here, and once done you can run this report. So this is a report format that I need on a regular basis. So this is a report that I want to see whenever I want to know what is the bank transfers, what are the payments that I've received via bank transfer. So you can do the customization as we've discussed. However, you can't, you'll not be in a position to do this customizations each and every time. In such cases, you can very well use this option called custom report. So once you've made the necessary changes, you can choose this option called save as custom report. Over here, again, you can double check if all the columns are chosen. And in the general section, you can also mention the time range via which for this transaction, and the advanced filter you have added will be shown. And in show or hide columns, again, double check all the columns has been added. And next comes the report layout. So what you're basically doing here is you're creating a new report based on the criteria that you have set up earlier. So over here, you're designing a new report wherein you have to also give the report layout as such. So over here, you can mention what is the table density and so on. So as you choose the details, you'll also be able to view the changes in the preview section that is shown over here. So based on the table density, the option that you're choosing, the preview also changes. You can mention what is the table design that you require. Say I want it to be bordered, and you can also choose the details that you wish to display. So details that you wish to display is commonly used when you're exporting any of these reports. So when you export the report, what are the details that you want to be shown in your PDF or XLS or CSV? So those details will have to be chosen over here. So you can mention the organization name, the page number, who was it generated by, and the generated date and time. So all these things will be shown while you're exporting this particular report. You can also mention what is the paper size, whether you want it to be in A4 or letter size, or what is the orientation, whether you want it to be in portrait mode or landscape, and the margins. So this is, you're just designing a new report for the filters that you've used. You're creating a new report apart from the 75 plus report that is already there in Zoho Books. So once you're okay with the layout, next is the report preferences. Report preferences is nothing but, so you're creating, as I said, you're creating a new report. Over here, you can mention what is this new report's name. I'll mention it as bank transfer report, and mention what is the name in the export. And you can also give a description if required, so the other users in the organization will be able to know more about this. So you can give a detailed description or a short brief description of the report. Payments received via bank transfer. So the same will be shown. Apart from this, let's also configure permission. So this is a report that you have generated, and you can also decide whom you want to disclose this report to. If you want this report to be only seen by you, you can keep the configure permission as only me. If you want to have this established or shown to certain users, you can also choose which role of users you want to share this with, or to which individual user you want to share this with. And you can also give them permission to either just view the invoice or view and export the invoice, and view and export and schedule the invoice. So if you wish, you can also configure the user permission over here. For now, I'm giving it as everyone. So everyone in the organization will be able to access this report. So once you've done, we'll save this as a custom report. So as you can see, I've now created a custom report with the unique filter that I've created earlier. So to see all the custom reports that you've created, you can go to the custom report section under the reports module. You'll be able to see all the reports that you have till now created using different criteria. So all of these reports will be seen. You can directly go to the particular report. All the advanced filters that you've chosen earlier will be automatically applied. You will be able to see the report as required. This is quite easy, right? So even though you customize the report, instead of customizing it each time, you can save this customization and create your own unique report for your organization. Quite a catch, right? Now we've seen some of the customizations which are available in Zoho Books for different reports under, say, business overview and so on. And we'll also see a unique report for Indian businesses, which is the profit and loss and balance sheet Schedule 3 reports. Schedule 3 reports are often managed or created by the auditors in the organization. They'll be adding the account mapping manually. So in those cases, in Zoho Books as well, we provide an option where you will be able to edit the account mapping for each of these criteria. So Schedule 3 is actually designed as per the format provided by MCA, and we will be able to add how you will be able to edit the mapping as per your requirement for your organization. The auditors in your organization will be able to, accountant or the auditors in your organization will help you on that. You will be able to select the accounts which needs to be added in each of these section. You can also add note or description as required. The same options are also available in our balance sheet, Schedule 3, wherein you will be able to edit the account mapping and add the necessary accounts against each section. Once the mapping is done, you will be able to see the reports as per your requirement. Let's also explore a few other options which are shown over here. Let's have a look at our invoice details report. So these are some of the options. As you can see over here, there is an option called scheduled report. Scheduled report is nothing but instead of manually exporting these reports on a daily basis or a weekly basis, you can let the system decide, or you can let the system automate this process. With this help of scheduled report, you can also select the frequency at which this particular report has to be exported. You can mention what is the start and end date time, and you can mention at what time this has to be exported, and also the people to whom this report has to be sent to, either via email, and the format in which this report should be exported. Once done, you can save this. This particular report is now scheduled. This particular report is now scheduled and it is active. You'll also be able to see all the scheduled reports, the reports that you have scheduled over here. And if any of these should be marked as inactive, you can simply come over here and mark it as inactive as well. You also have an option of sharing this report to a particular user. So in an organization, you can choose to which user this particular report has to be shared with and what is the level of permission that you're giving them. Either it can be only viewed, the user can only view the report, or they can view and export the report as well, or they can view, export and schedule the report. Those things can be configured if required. In case if you wish to print this particular report, you can choose the print option. The same report will be printed. And if you wish to configure how the print should look like, say similarly how we have designed a custom report, like over here you'll also have the option of setting up your print preferences as well. You can choose what is the table density, the organization details which has to be exported, what is the paper size, orientation and so on. All these can be configured, and in the same way the report will be printed out. Apart from these, we also have an option of exporting. So I've highlighted the export option in quite earlier, right? So we have an option wherein you'll be able to schedule these reports and you'll also be able to export these reports. So before we proceed with the manual export, I've now introduced the scheduled option. So we have now seen how to automatically export these reports via schedule. We'll also see how to export this in XLSCS manually also. So when you click on the export as option, you'll have 4 options. Either you can export it in PDF, XLS or XLSX, CSV, or you can also export it to Zoho Sheet. If you are a user of Zoho Sheet, you can also export it to Zoho Sheets directly. And when you are exporting these, right, so for example, you want to export and share it with your accountant or a third-party service provider. In such cases, you would definitely need to protect this file with a password in case so that this is not all the financial informations are not handled by a third party or an unauthorized person. In such cases, you can use this option, I want to protect this file with a password, and provide a password for this export. And in certain cases where you have customized the report with the respective fields, so for example, in the invoice details report, you have added some fields unique to this report, you have created a custom report as such. In those cases, if you want to report the file only based on the current view, those things can also be, you can also enable this option. Or if you want to, again, you can also customize the details which are provided here. You can give the organization name, who the report was generated by, and the generated date and time as well for authentication purpose. So you can also provide a password and export this particular report in XLS or CSV format. So with that, we have seen all the customizations which are available across all the reports available in Zoho Books. There are a few customizations which are very unique to each of the reports, which will be handled in the upcoming sessions. And I hope now you have an idea of how to customize the reports. Even though you have been using these reports on a daily basis, you can also filter out these reports and customize them according to your requirement to get more and to get in granular information on how your business is performing. So with that, we have covered all the customizations available in Zoho Books. Thank you so much for joining us. So if you have any questions or clarifications on these report customizations, you can definitely put those questions in the questions tab. We'll have them answered right away. And if you have any if you wish to have as I said, we also have a lineup of webinars in the upcoming weeks, wherein you will be able to where you will be discussing in depth about all the categories that we discussed earlier. So our next session is on 23rd August. So you can also register for those sessions. We have already added the registration link on our chat. We'll be again adding the registration link. Please do register for these sessions individually. You can go to the respective section and register for them individually as well. We are hoping to have you in the upcoming session as well. Thank you so much for joining us. As I said, if you have any questions or clarifications, please do post those questions in the questions tab. We'll be happy to answer them. So I guess we have a question where you want to see month-on-month P&L. So in that case, what you can choose is you can choose a customized timeline, and you can choose, say, this month or previous month. And over here, you can mention what is the number of periods that you want to compare it with. So say you want to compare it with the next 12 months or so on. And you can also mention whether you want to arrange the period from latest to the oldest. And once then, you'll be able to compare the profit and loss between each month as well. So say for the month of 2023, from July till the next subsequent months, what is the profit and loss, or what is the profit and loss that is happening. So from July 2022 to July 2023, what is my profit and loss over a period of time, that can be shown over here. So I think there's a question, can the username be displayed on each of the transaction? Under purchases, we create a bill. Can the user who has the keyed in bill can be displayed? It's a very good question. So this is where the activity reports come into play. So in Zoho Books, we have this report called activity reports. So wherein you'll be able to see all the activities that are happening in your organization. So in your use case, you'll be able to see what this particular bill, who has it been created from, and what are the changes this particular transaction has gone through. So all these are available in our activity report, which you will be able to which we'll have an in-depth session in the upcoming time. But yeah, we do have a similar report called activity logs report, or activity log and audit trail report, wherein you'll be able to see all these details. Let me also answer a few more questions. Wanted to know if we can get a purchase and a sale transaction with margin in the same report. So right now we won't have an option of profit margin calculation in Zoho Books, but we can use a custom function to pull in the profit margin, and those custom fields can also be displayed while you're creating a sales or a purchase report, that is the invoice details report and so on. So the gross profit, I understand, like one feedback question, the gross profit is not shown in horizontal P&L. How can this be achieved? So in horizontal P&L, we do show the net profit and loss. So if you go to the horizontal profit and loss report, you'll be able to see the total operating income and expenses and what is the net profit and loss right over here. I hope this is the question. If not, please do let us know what exactly you refer to the term as gross profit and loss, so that we can help you out on that. But yeah, you'll be able to see the net profit and loss right over here. So you will have a recording of this training as well. We'll be publishing it in YouTube. You can have a look at it anytime. How can we get it a P&L in graph format and add them to the dashboard? So the profit and loss is already there in the dashboard. So in the home screen, if you see your income and expenses, this is actually your profit and loss report. So this is a bar graph. So you'll be able to see the profit and loss in the bar graph section in the dashboard. So this particular section, the income and expense section, this is where you'll be able to see the profit and loss in the bar graph format. So you can use this if required. So change it, and this, when you click on any of these, it will automatically redirect you to the profit and loss report, but the actual the graphical representation is already there in the dashboard as well. So in the payments received report, I want age past due date column or due date of invoice column to know the received amount is due from when. Is it possible? So we have the AR aging summary for these cases. So in reports, you will have the AR aging summary reports, right? So you can make use of this. So irrespective of the date of payment in which you've received, you will be able to see the what is the payment that you will be receiving over a period of time. So you can customize this report and you can select a time period as required, and you'll be able to see what is the receivables that you will be receiving over a period of time. And you can also check if required the in detailed report wise, matlab, transaction wise breakup of what is the amount that is yet to be received and what is the age in which the amount or the invoice is overdue. So all this is available in our AR aging details. And in depth, as I said, in depth discussion on these receivable reports will also be available in our upcoming sessions. So please do feel free to join those sessions so you can have an in-depth idea of how these reports work. So we also have another question on what is reporting tags, and to elaborate more on that, definitely. So reporting tags in Zoho Books, as I said, is, say for example, you have a large financial data. So in an organization, you have lot of different departments, a lot of different cost centers. So there will be different criterias in which you want to segregate this large financial data, right? So in my use case, I have multiple departments within the organization, say the finance, marketing, sales, and support departments. So I want to segregate the data or the financial reports based on these departments. So I'm going to use, I want to segregate this, right? So to segregate this large financial data, I am going to tag these transactions with a unique ID or a tag called reporting tag. So for different departments, I'm creating a unique tag. And while I'm creating an invoice or a bill or an expense or whatever transaction that I'm creating, even a customer or a vendor or an item, right? So in all these, I'll be associating a tag. And based on these tag, I can then segregate the financial data. So for an entire organization, I'll be able to see a financial report, and I can also use the advanced filter and segregate that report or filter that report for that particular tag as well. So a reporting tag is essentially just a tag to segregate the data or on a different criteria. I hope that answers your query. So the date format in your report is usually the date format you have set up for your organization. So you would have set up your organization date format in the organization profile page. You'll be able to set up the organization date format over here. So you can mention what is the format that is needed, and accordingly the same format will be used in the export as well. I hope that answers your query. So we also have a question how to take inventory summary for multiple items. So in general, the items, so inventory summary, if you go ahead, you will be able to see the inventory summary for all the items in general, like what is the quantity ordered in and out and all. So you'll be able to see a report as of the period that you've chosen. So this shows for all the items that you have in your database. So please do check these reports. So it will not be just for one individual organization, sorry, one individual item. It is for all the items that is there in your database. So you'll be able to see all the inventory summary for all the items in your thing. In case if there are no stock on hand, like if the item is not inventory tracked, then those will not be shown over here. Ensure that the items are inventory tracked. can navigate to the particular item, edit and check if the inventory tracking is enabled for the item, to check on that. If you have any particular report that you want in a specific format, you can also get back to us. You can reach out to our support team. They'll be able to help you out and assist you on how to customize these reports according to the format that you required, so that you will be able to get the data or the financial information that you need in the format that you require. So if you could see my screen, you can always reach out to us at support.india@zohobooks.com, and our helpline number is also given mentioned in the screen. You can reach out to us and we will help you out with the customization as well if needed. So whichever report that you require, you can share us a small format of the report, and we can also help you with the customization as well. So we also have another question. Hi Priya, we are unable to view the class and division in Zoho screen. We need to click and check for the same. Can we have it displayed in every transaction without selecting it? I presume you are asking about the reporting tag functionality. So currently the reporting tag functionality is hidden option. So however, while you are creating a transaction, so for example, when you create an invoice or bill, in any of these, you will have these option called update line items in bulk. So wherein you can also update reporting tags. So you can update the reporting tag as required, or you can choose this option, show all additional information, wherein whenever creating a line item, it will automatically show up along with the reporting tag as well. So you can use this option just against the amount. You'll have this option called show all additional information. So here you can also, whenever you are adding the line item, it will also show the account and reporting tag functionalities. So you will not miss out while you are adding the reporting tag. You can use the three dotted icon again against the amount section to view that. I hope that answers your query, Mr. Sudhir. So we also have an option, we also have a question on please share the steps for fetching the scheduled reports. I presume you're asking on how to fetch this already scheduled reports. If so, just go to the reports tab, and over here you have this screen, right? Three scheduled reports. You can click on these three scheduled reports and see what are the reports which are scheduled to be exported on a daily basis or a weekly basis. If you want to know how to schedule a report, just go to the report which you want to schedule, which you want to set up a schedule for. So for example, if you want to set up a schedule for AR aging summary, and you can mention, you'll see the option called scheduled report. Click on this and you can mention what is the frequency, and you can mention what is the start date at which this particular report has to be exported, and the recipients of this particular report, and also if you want it to be in PDF, XLS or CSV, the format. Once then it will be ready for report scheduled, and all the report schedules will be shown in the report section. I hope that answers your query, Mr. Bibin. In the report section of books, there's a field inventory in which we wish to take stock summary report of more than 2 or 3 items altogether. Okay, I presume you want to have a inventory summary report of 2 3 items clubbed together. So you can use the advanced filters. You can use the item name. For now, the custom report functionality is not yet introduced, but you'll be able to select the items over here and you can run the report based on these particular items alone. I hope this answers your query. And if you want, you can include all these items over here under the item name section. And when you run the report will be run only for those particular items. So the custom report generation option is available for particular reports right now. You will be able to see the custom reports option shown in each report individually. So say for example, the business overview reports, the payable details and receivable details report have the customized option, custom report generation option. So you can check out or create custom reports from these reports. Currently, it is not available for all reports. It's available for specific reports in which you have the possibility of creating advanced filters and wherein you can save those as custom reports. So we also have a question, what is API usage? So as you know, in Zoho Books, we allow API integrations. We have the option of integrating Zoho Books with other applications via API. So in such cases, you need to have a developer console to check out what is the API that you have consumed for a particular period of time. So that can be chosen over here, that can be seen over here. That's the API usage report. So more on these will be shared during our API activity report section. So you can join us for that session as well. Okay, so we have another question: how to generate. So we have another question: how to generate TDS payable report. So we are covering these in the GST modules. So you'll be able to see the GST reports in this, tax type reports over here. So for the TDS amount that you've collected from your vendors, you have the TDS summary report. You'll be able to see all the TDS that you've collected and which are supposed to be paid to the government at a particular point of time. So you'll be able to see those over here. And again, if you want to see it vendor wise, that is also possible. You can customize this report and group this by vendor, and over here you can mention how much is the TDS that you've collected for each vendor individually also. I hope that helps. uh, So the TDS return form 24Q from payroll is getting. I presume this is with regards to Zoho payroll. We would suggest you to reach out to our Zoho payroll team, or we can have someone reach out to you on this as well. Thank you so much. So the RCM report is nothing but so the self-invoice summary is your RCM report. You'll be able to see all the reverse charge or the transactions in which the reverse charge was applied to over here. You'll be able to see those details for a selected time range and time period over here. So this will be your RCM report. I hope that helps. So the RCM report is nothing but the self-invoice summary. So yeah, there are shortcut keys for using Zoho Books. To have a look at the shortcut keys, you can go to this profile icon, and if you scroll down, you will have this option. So you'll have the option navigate faster with keyboard shortcuts. So over here you'll see the keyboard shortcuts. So let me just go back, go to the profile icon, just scroll down. You'll have this option called Essential Guides for your business and navigate faster with keyboard shortcuts. You can click on navigate faster with keyboard shortcuts to see the keyboard shortcuts which are available in Zoho Books. I hope that answers your query. How to see salary payroll TDS reports. So salary payroll, I hope you're using Zoho payroll for managing your salary, in which case the TDS report with regards to your salary payment will be available in Zoho payroll reports. So wherein you'll be able to see the TDS that you've detected for your employees over there. So you can go to Zoho payroll to see the TDS detected during the salary payroll sessions. So yeah, you will receive yes, you will receive a recording of this session. So we'll be publishing this in YouTube as well, so you can check out the recording anytime. So we have a question: what is landed cost? So see, landed cost is basically are additional expenses that you are incurring to purchase an item, or to purchase an item and bringing it to your organization. So for example, you are purchasing some items from overseas. So in which case, first you will be purchasing the item from the vendor, who will be charging you for the product cost, and you'll also incur expenses to bring it from another place to India, or to another state to India, another country to India. So for which you'll also incur certain transportation expenses, and once you bring it over here, you'll have You'll have bill of entry expenses, that is your custom charges and so on. So there are multiple charges involved in bringing certain goods to your organizations. So these additional expenses, these additional charges should also be added to the actual procuring cost or the purchase cost of this particular item. So in such cases, to track your landed cost, we will be associating, or we will be adding them as landed cost items while you're creating invoice, or while you're creating a purchase bill. You will be able to associate that landed cost over there. So once you've associated the landed cost, the purchase price, say for example, if the vendor is selling at rupees 100, and the transportation everything included, you have like 20 rupees additional cost for bringing the product. So the total purchase cost of that item will become 120 rupees. So to track all these, we have the landed cost option in Zoho Books. I hope that answers your query. So I think that was a query for your case. I hope that answers your query. Yeah, you can add your landed cost over here in this section. So you have to enable landed cost. So to add landed cost, go to preferences, and under items you have these option called landed cost. So track landed cost on items. So just over here, I've highlighted it. So you have to enable this. Once you've enabled it, while you're creating a bill, you'll have the option of adding charges as landed cost. So you can click on add landed cost and add the charges, additional charges that you've incurred in purchasing an item. But in Zoho Books should also show the TDS deducted even if it is done in payroll. It should show TDS in report. See, if you have associated TDS, see that's what. So if you're managing your payroll entirely in Zoho Payroll, in such cases, only the final entry gets posted in Zoho Books for your report. But if you want an in detail description of what is the TDS payment that you've collected from each and every employee, which will be available only in a payroll, because that does not get pushed into Zoho Books. So those TDS reports are available only in Zoho Payroll module. So journal reports, the journal entries are not reflected in GST or TDS reports, because we don't have an option of associating a GST percentage or TDS percentage over there. You'll be associating a GST account, yes, but usually in Zoho Books, the GST reports are calculated based only on the invoices, bills, and vendor credits and credit note, or wherever you're associating the percentage, that is the tax percentage. So if you're generating a journal report, if you're generating a journal, those will definitely not get reflected in your TDS or GST reports, because the TDS percentage or the GST percentage is not mentioned there. So in most of the cases, you'll have to create invoices or bills. I hope that answers your query. So we've already mentioned on how to add landed cost, and know the journal however, if you're asking whether journal entries can be added in the report section, that is not possible. And how to pay landed cost. See, landed cost is associated while you're creating a bill, right? So as you make the payment for the bill, the payment for the landed cost is also done, and once the payment is done, or even before the payment is done, it is associated to the purchase cost of the item. I hope that answers your query. Uh, yeah, we do have separate reports to show landed costs. So we will be covering that in the inventory session. So we have a report in general for landed costs. So there is a report called landed cost summary as such. So wherein you'll be able to see what is the landed cost that you've added for a particular period of time. So we do have some reports based on that. So those will be covered in our inventory session. Can we filter paid and unpaid? So currently you're not marking these TDS as paid via Zoho Books. So you'll not be able to filter the paid or unpaid transactions right now. Yes, you will be able to migrate the tally data to Zoho Books. We have import functionality in all our modules. So you can import the data in XLS or CSV format. It's an either or situation. So either you can pay the landed cost against a bill, or you can either if you are creating it as an expense, you can later associate it as a landed cost to that particular item. So both are possible. So you can go ahead with as required. So I um, thank you so much actually for the questions. Do let us know if you have any other. Hi everybody. Thank you so much again for joining this session. So we have overrun our webinar session by some time now. So thank you so much for joining in today, and I hope today's session was helpful. As I mentioned, this is just an initial session on the customizations which are available. We just wanted to introduce all these customizations we have in different reports to filter out your business data as per your requirement. As I mentioned, we also have a lineup of webinar series coming right up for you. We have different report categories and so on. We would request you all to join these sessions. So as I'll just show you the registration session again, you can go to the registration link. So we'll be posting the registration link in the chat tab once again. You can go to the registration link and register for these webinars individually. So you might want to check out all these webinar series, or if you have a particular reporting category you want to get to know more about, you can register for the same. Thank you so much for joining us today. You've been an engaging audience with all these questions. Thank you so much for joining us today. And I hope today's session was helpful, and we are looking forward to having you in all the sessions. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And we'll be finishing the session today. Thank you so much again. This is Vaishali. Bye bye.